Hi friends, welcome to our channel. Today Dr. Vishwakant, consultant cardiologist with us at Guru Nanak Care Hospital, Mushrabad. Hello doctor, how are you?
Fine.
Doctor, how do you diagnose coronary heart disease?
Coronary artery disease, like I said, is a leading killer and it is important that we diagnose it early. There are various diagnostic modalities. I will start with especially very simple diagnostic modalities like ECG. Then we go up to 2D echo, then chest X-ray, then we move on to stress testing, then invasive, non-invasive diagnostic modalities, then invasive diagnostic modalities. ECG, 2D echo, they give us very basic information, especially important in acute setting, especially when the patient is having chest pain or symptoms. They are not that useful in diagnosing when the patient does not have any symptoms. However, if the patient has any evidence of old damage to the heart, then they show signs of old damages to the heart, especially in ECG and 2D echo. But especially in acute setting, they are very useful. Like I said, if you have a symptom and you go to a hospital, and if your ECG and 2D echo are absolutely normal, generally 90% of the problem, it can be taken for granted. 90% of the times, you are not having a life-threatening problem. Then there are some blood tests in the acute setting. If your ECG and 2D echo are normal, there is a blood test called troponin, which begins to rise in the blood within 3 to 6 hours after the onset of chest pain. It is released from the heart muscles. The test is called cardiac troponin test. If your ECG and 2D echo are normal, and if 3 hours to 6 hours after the onset of chest pain, if troponin is detected in your blood, that means your chest pain is because of a impending heart attack. It is important that you get yourself admitted and evaluated by a cardiologist. So troponin is a very important investigation which we regularly do in the emergency to rule out cardiac causes of chest pain. Next, once this ECG, 2D echo and troponin are also normal, then once we can ask the patient to get discharged, and we do still to rule out if he has asymptomatic coronary artery disease, or if a patient says, I want to still rule out whether my plaque is building, we do stress testing. Stress testing is where we ask the patient to undergo a stress, put a stress on the heart either by walking or by cycling or by giving some drugs. We put a stress to the heart by increasing the heartbeat, and we take ECGs or some images, some nuclear scans, wherein the blood supply to the heart is tested. When the blood supply of the heart is tested, it can give some descriptions in the ECGs or echoes or also in the images. Those are called stress tests. If there is any abnormalities in the stress test, we subject to the patient to the coronary angiogram. Coronary angiogram is an invasive diagnostic test wherein a dye is passed, injected into the coronary. The test is done through either to the hand or to the leg. A catheter is passed and a small amount of dye is injected to the coronaries. Coronaries are the blood vessels supplying to the heart, and X-rays are taken. Usually it is a 15 minutes procedure, and generally 99% of the times there are no complications, and patients generally go home within 2 hours after the procedure. There is a non-invasive modalities of checking these coronaries by using a CT scan, but there are some pros and cons of what to use, when to use a CT scan and when to use a coronaries. But once you have evidence of coronary artery disease, or if the patient, there is a high suspicion of a coronary artery disease, it is better to undergo a coronary angiogram or rather than a CT coronary angiogram. CT coronary angiogram is useful in ruling out, especially in patients with low probability of a coronary artery disease. But in patients with a high probability of the coronary artery disease, in elderlies, in diabetics, it is better to go for a invasive coronary angiogram.
Doctor, what are the various treatment of options?
Once a coronary artery disease is diagnosed by the various diagnostic procedures which I talked about, there are only 3 treatment options. 1 is either use of medicines, 2 using stents, or 3 is a bypass procedure, is surgery. Bypass. See, medicines are only useful up to a point of time. There are only beginning stages. Like I said, in addition to use of medicines, risk factor control of hypertension, diabetes, smoking cessation are also extremely important. There are drugs which improve the blood supply to the heart and control the heart rate. They can relieve symptoms up to a certain extent, but they don't totally solve the core problem of increasing the blood supply to the heart. Now, the debate of stents versus the bypass surgery, No, stents are usually nowadays the recent most advanced stents are as good as the grafts which we give for bypass, but then there are certain subsets where bypass is absolutely very beneficial. One, especially in diabetics and especially in patients with LV dysfunction, that is when the heart is little weak. These are the two important subsets where it is proven that bypass is better than stents. But then there is also this element of convenience when we talk about in stents. The stents, there is no need of cutting any big surgery. Patients can be discharged after 1 day or 2 days after undergoing stents. That is the convenience in going for stents. But there is also a failure rate for stents up to 10 to 15% over a period of time, and there is a need of lifelong medications for the use of stents. And bypass surgery, the thing is, it's very useful in, like I said, in the previous subsets. But the thing is, patient has to undergo a big procedure. They have to stay hospitalized for about 7 days. But so it is up to the doctor, the family, and the surgeon to make a holistic and a well planned out decision, and which is best for the patient.
Thank you, doctor. Thanks for the information. Thank you so much. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.